Hey guys, Cameron here. Welcome to Ultralight Outdoors. Thanks for watching. And I was hoping to be out on a backpacking trip and bring this review to you from the backpacking trip, but had something pop up. So today I am bringing you a first look at Thermarest's newest pad. This is the Thermarest Neoair Xlite NXT. That's a big long name. And if you've heard of the Neoair, it's been around for a long time, really popular pad, but this is Thermarest's newest version, and I'm really excited to give you all a first look at it. So let's go over some of the specs really quick. I'm going to put these up on screen. You can pause it if you want, or just visit Thermarest's website for all this information. For this newest version of the Neoair, the NXT, the R value has gone up. The previous version was a 4.2, and this is a 4.5. So if you're not familiar with R value, it is basically the measure of thermal resistance of the pad. So basically how warm it's going to keep you. And 4.5 is really good. That's going to keep you warm for most conditions where I live here in the southern United States. And it'll get most people by at least through 3 seasons, maybe not in the dead of winter, but 4.5 is really good. This pad comes in 4 regular mummy sizes, and by mummy size, I mean the shape of the pad is wider at the top than it is at the bottom. First off, the pad comes in a regular short, which is 20 inches wide by 66 inches long and weighs 11.5 ounces. The regular size, which is just your normal standard air pad size, comes in at 20 inches wide by 72 inches long and is 12.5 ounces. The regular wide is 25 inches wide and 72 inches long, so just a little bit wider, and it comes in at 16 ounces. And then the large size, which is what I have, is 25 inches wide by 77 inches long and comes in at 17 ounces. All of these have the same construction. They're made with a 30D RIP HT nylon on top and bottom, so it's pretty durable. This is the same sort of material that the previous version of Neoair had, and it comes in 2 colors. It comes in lemon curry and solar flare. Both of them are yellow color. The lemon curry is a slightly lighter version of the yellow, and that's the version that I have here. They also sell the NXT in a max version, which is a rectangular version. It's the same general construction and everything, except for it's not mummy shape. It is a rectangular pad. It comes in a regular wide version of 18 ounces, which is 25 inches wide and 72 inches long. And it comes in a large version, which is 77 inches long by 25 inches wide, and that is 20 ounces. So if you're somebody who doesn't enjoy a mummy pad, they have the max versions as well. On top of the Xlite version, Thermarest also makes an Xtherm version of this, which is their much warmer pad with an R value of 7.3. Extremely warm pad, will get you through pretty much any conditions for most people. But for me, that's a little too warm for me here most of the year. It would only help me out on certain weekends in the deep winter whenever a big cold front comes through. So I'm not really looking for something like the Xtherm. I think the R value of 4.5 on the regular NXT Xlite pad is going to do me just fine. So let's go over what you get whenever you order this pad. And like I said, this is the large size, so you can tell it's slightly bigger than what the regular small would be packaged up, but only by an inch or 2 packaged. This is the stuff sack it comes with. Plenty of extra room in here, so you don't have to worry about having to cram everything in here. It comes with this pump sack, and I'll show you that here in just a minute. That's to help you inflate your pad. Comes with the pad itself, obviously. This is the large size. And then it also comes with this field repair kit should you get any sort of pinhole or puncture in your pad. Let's go over each individual part. So this is the wing lock valve on the Thermarest pad, and I really like this design. I believe they had this on the previous version of the Neoair, and they brought it over to the NXT, but it is much different than the original version of the Neoair, which is something that I was used to dealing with, which really was a terrible valve. This new wing lock design allows it to be a one-way valve for inflation without letting air come back out, or you can open it back up to dump a lot of air out at one time. I practice rolling this up and pushing all the air out, and it definitely goes way faster than the original valve design. So the way this works is this black piece here just unscrews half turn, and now you can blow air into it, and it will not let air come back out. So you don't have to worry about keeping pressure on it to keep air from coming back out. And then whenever you're done, simply just close that back up and you're good to go for the night. Now, if you wanted to make a slight adjustment, like your pad is a little too firm, you need to let just a little bit of air out, What you're going to do is twist these wing lock section here a quarter turn, and then open up the black part of the valve just a little bit, let a little bit of air out, close it back, then close your wing lock back, and you're good to go for the night. When you're ready to pack up camp in the morning, you're ready to let all the air out of your pad, simply open the wing lock up again, then open the black valve all the way, and it's going to dump a lot of air out. This lets way more air out than the original valve version, and I think that's really neat. Then you can roll your pad up, push all the air out of it, and then close everything back up. So a really nice design. I like that it's over here on the side instead of on the face. Keeps it away from like your face during the night, and I think it's a really good design. It's definitely beefier, bigger than the original valve design on the Neoair, and I really like that you are able to clip the pump sack directly on it. It's very secure, definitely not coming off. So a really neat valve design, and I think they put a lot of time and energy into making a good valve for these Neoair NXTs. So this is the field repair kit. Not a lot to it, but I wanted to mention it. It comes with instructions. It also comes with an alcohol pad to clean the surface of your NXT whenever you are gonna apply a patch to it, and then it comes with a couple of patches here to patch any little pinhole or anything like that. So this is the stuff sack for the NXT. Not a lot to it. It's definitely very durable, and the thing that I really like about this is that it's big. It's much bigger than what the pad is, so you can fit your pad, pump sack, repair kit all inside here, and it's not a struggle to get it in. You don't have to like cram everything as hard as you can to get it in here. Everything slides in. You have extra space in here. It's really nice. It has this little loop here on the end, and that's for being able to grab and pull your pad out, and then has this cord lock at the top for closing it all up, and there you go. So just a little stuff sack, but does the job. So it comes with this bag here. This is the pump sack for the NXT, and I've used this several times to inflate it now. It works great. I'm really a big fan of pump sacks. They, you get that lightheaded feeling. You sit there and blow up your pad. And with the increased volume in the inside of the NXT, it takes quite a while to blow it up with your mouth. So this pump sack really comes in handy, but definitely not necessary. If you don't want to carry this extra weight or you forget this, not a problem. Just blow it up by mouth the old traditional way, but this pump sack is really nice. It has this closure here. This is what you're going to pop open and snap this part right here onto the valve, the wing valve of the NXT, and then you are ready to pump up the pad. It has instructions on it right here, so if you forget how to use the pump sack, you got that. And then it just has a nice big volume. So the way this works is to blow air into the top of this, or scoop air into it, have it connected to your pad, and then you're ready to roll it down, and it forces air out of the bag and into your pad. You can do this only a few times. It depends on the volume of your pad, but it's going to be less than 10 times. You'll have your whole pad blown up, and you won't get that lightheaded feeling that you get by blowing your pad up with your mouth. So this is the rolled up sides of the pad. I didn't put any great effort into rolling this up. This is about the size it's going to be. You could get it slightly smaller than this, but it will definitely fit inside of the stuff sack just like this. So whenever I'm going to pack it all up, I like to throw the field repair kit down in the bottom. Take my pad next and slide it in there. Like I said, not a lot of great effort, and you can see how much extra space we have with the pad in there. Then we can take our pump sack here and put it in as well. With the whole package, you have this in here, and you can press it down just a little bit. But this is the size of everything together in here. And this weighs 20.4 ounces for everything. Everything they send you to get out on trail, 20.4 ounces. Now, with just a pad, if you wanted to take it bare bones, no stuff sack, no repair kit, no pump sack, anything like that, mine for a large size came in at 17.4 ounces. So what makes the NXT any different than any other Xlite pad in the past? Well, there are two major differences between this version and the previous version of the Neoair. One is the internal material that they use that is bonded inside in the baffles to help insulate you is supposed to be much quieter than a previous version. Now I have the original version, which is very loud pad, and this version is supposed to be much quieter. The second thing that makes this pad different, and the thing that really drew me to this pad is a 1/2 inch thicker than the standard 2.5 inch pad that the Neoair has always been. So this is a 3-inch thick pad. I think that for this pad, it really balances lightweight and functionality with comfort. I have some pads that are lighter and thinner and smaller, and then I have pads that are bigger and thicker and probably a little more cushion than this. But I think the NXT, and this is the thing that really drew me to this pad, is the perfect balance of everything put together. All right, so I got my pad laid out here, and we're going to go ahead and inflate it using the pump sack. Now, Thermarest does say there's absolutely nothing wrong with you blowing this up by mouth, but they do give you this pump sack, and it makes it way easier. First thing we're going to do is find the closure of the pump sack itself. It has a little string on it, and it is pretty tough to undo, but you're going to pull tight on there. And that's so that when it snaps onto the pad, it's going to have a secure fit. Next thing we're going to do is find the valve and open up just the black section, leaving the wing lock part closed, and snap this flap onto the pad itself, and you will hear it click, and you know you have a good secure fit on there. And now we're ready to blow it up. So we're going to take our pump sack and blow just a little bit of air in there. Start rolling it down, and that's going to force air out of the pump sack and into the pad. And while this is a repetitive process that we're going to have to do several times, it's way less stress on your body than blowing it up by mouth. When you're done, simply just snap the pump sack off and close our valve. You don't have to worry about air rushing out because of the one-way wing valve. So now we're pretty much done with the pump sack. It's great for adding lots of volume of air to the pad, but if you need to add just a little more, like you want it a little more firm, no problem doing that by mouth. So now let's talk about the noise a little bit. So that's supposed to be one of the new NXT's biggest features. And while they said the noise reduction is greatly reduced, there's definitely still noise to it. If you push down on it, you can definitely still hear it, but not any more than any other pad on the market. It's not the old Neoair foily sound that you may be used to. So I think the days are gone of you having to worry about waking everyone else in camp up just because you want to turn over on your pad. So this pad is a size large. I'm 6 foot tall and about 190 pounds. I really like the added width to the pad that allows me to put my arms on here if I'm laying on my back. It also allows me, since I am mostly a side sleeper, I don't have to worry about either my knees or my butt hanging off one side or the other. Everything fits, so it's a really good size pad. I also like the length of this pad. It gives me a few extra inches at my feet and my head without having to worry about losing my pillow or my feet falling off during the night. So it's just overall a really good size, at least for me. Here you can see the extra width that I have where my arms fit. Now if I had the regular size pad, I would lose these few inches here on the sides and I wouldn't have any room for my arms. I can definitely feel the warmth of this pad. I can already feel it being reflected back up to me. So this pad still has the classic horizontal baffles that you've always found on the Neoair. In fact, just looking at the pad, you're really not going to be able to tell much of a difference between it and the classic Neoair pads. The main difference is going to come, like I said, in the noise as well as the thickness of the pad. So you just heard me turn over. Obviously there's still some noise as there is with any sort of camp pad, but not just a huge crinkling noise that you're used to with a Neoair. This is me here on my side. You can tell with this large size, I have plenty of room. I don't feel like my feet are about to fall off or anything, but if that is a concern to you, like I said, they offer the NXT and the Max pads, which is going to have the extra couple inches there at the foot so that your feet don't fall off. So if the pad is just slightly too firm for you, it's really easy to let out just a little bit of air and make it a little more cushiony. And that comes with this wing lock part of the valve. So if you open up just the black section of the valve, nothing comes out, no air comes out because it's just a one-way valve. Now I'll take that wing lock and open it up. Still nothing comes out because the black part of our valve is closed. Now we can open it just a little bit and let just a little bit of air out. Close it back and close up the whole wing lock. That makes our pad just a little bit softer It's going to be just a little more comfortable on the ground without letting your hip or your shoulder go all the way through and touch the ground. Then in the morning, when you're done with your pad and you're ready to pack up camp, it's the same process. We're just going to leave both valves open. So we twist our wing lock, got it open up the black valve, and it's just dumping air out. You can let the pad deflate most of the way and then leave both of these valves open and just roll the whole thing up, and it forces the rest of the air out. Once you've got all the air out, you're going to go ahead and close both valves, and that'll keep all the air out, and you're ready to go and roll everything up. All right, now let's take a look at the claimed loft of the pad. Now it's supposed to be ½ inch thicker, so we're supposed to be up to 3 inches where the previous versions were at 2.5. And if I put my tape measure there, you can see it's definitely at least at 3 inches. You can tell this pad has way more cushion than the previous version of the Neoair. So along with the extra loft of the pad, I'm sitting on it right now and I'm not sinking all the way through to the ground. Now, if you let some of the air out to where your pad's a little more cushioned, you may be able to touch the ground by just sitting on it. But once I lay out, even with turning over or putting my arm or hip into the pad, I don't feel the ground underneath me, and I think that is a lot to do with the extra ½ inch. So really comfortable pad. Like I said, I think this is a great balance between lightweight and comfort. I think Thermarest really hit the mark on the NXT, and I'm really excited to get this out and try it out. All right, guys, so that is the Thermarest Neoair Xlite NXT. Great pad so far. I'm really impressed just with the overall build to it. I think it's going to keep me really warm all year long. Very comfortable. I'm really excited about getting out and trying this pad. All the claim specifications that Thermarest gives on their website's really close to what I actually got here. So I'm really impressed overall with everything to do with this pad. If you have any questions, there's more information on Thermarest's website, or feel free to shoot me a comment down below. Like I said, excited to get out and use this pad. I think it's going to do really well for me. Appreciate you guys following along, and we'll see you next time.